welcome back to the HQ. Today, we're going to be watching The Cost of Concordia by the Internet Historian. Now, I saw that the Internet Historian released a video on the Ever Given, but we're going to watch this ship-related disaster first, before getting into that one. So, let's get right into this thing. This video meets criteria for legal fair use and those of YouTube's guidelines. No citation herein constitute infringement under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. The following is satire and journalistic in nature. All images and media have been sourced from public records, and a special care has been taken to censor names, faces, specific locations, records, and personal information of those featured to protect their privacy. Names of individuals mentioned in this video meet the criteria of public figures. Care has still been taken to keep any other information about these individuals private. The following is not an endorsement or condoning of harassment towards individuals featured in this video. Please behave yourselves.
The Costa Concordia. Ship of dreams. It's been
starting off immediately.
8 years. I can still smell the buffets from their 5 restaurants. The casino and 3-story theater had hardly been used.
God, who would even want to go on like a
gym,
big cruise like
the
that?
day spa,
Genuinely.
the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins.
Like,
hadn't even
I can't
been
stand the
slept in.
ocean. The ocean
Costa
scares the shit
Concordia
out of
cost
me.
$570 million to build. And you could tell.
Wow, that's fucking expensive.
You could really tell.
$570 million for what is essentially a giant floating death machine. That's...
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona.
Try pronouncing
It
that
was
5
day
times
2
fast,
of our
Jesus.
7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my word.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side
that's not good.
instead of smashing. A bad omen.
Oh yeah, that is.
But I'm not the
like,
superstitious
The bottle
type.
doesn't break against like, a
Nothing
ship.
could go
That is
wrong on
very
Friday
bad
the
luck.
13th of January, 2012,
On the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic.
That's not good.
On a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding. Especially
Hold on. What do you mean only safety rated for 2-compartment floodings? Like, I know, like, ships that big must have, like, a lot of compartments, right? Like, for real. They must have, like, a lot of compartments like that to potentially flood. What do you mean a ship only that size? Only rated for 2 flooded compartments? I don't like how that sounds.
not when you have a 5-star max level captain like Francisco Scatino.
Oh, that's
A man
reassuring.
who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
Excuse me? How do you go from a security guard, like, to what is essentially like a glorified mall cop on a floating mall, to a captain of an entire cruise vessel? Like, how does that, like, chain of, like, promotion go? Like, there has to be some sort of process to this, right? Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'd love for them to explain, but I got a feeling it's not going to.
He knows exactly what to do in case of an emergency.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010, in Vernon, Germany, when he was steering a different ship.
Oh, God, fuck for a second. There's no footage, so here's the scene from Speed 2 Cruise Control, the bad Speed movie. Oh my goodness. Like, if that was a legit thing, holy goddamn.
And came into port too fast and caused another collision. I've got a good feeling about this.
I don't like it
So
when he
let's set
talks.
the scene. It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the magician is setting up for his show.
I can play
and the
piano
ship
by ear.
is setting up for a little detour. It's
while.
called a sail by salute. Basically,
practice, so
you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's traditional. Scatino, the captain, comes into the dining room with the lady. Dominica Samorton. Remember this face, because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Scatino eats his dinner with her, and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio.
That's a little too close to me. Like, you're approaching an island. Like...
And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do.
I hope it's an uncommon thing to do now, especially, like, I don't like the way this is going. Why are they just, like, spitballing the distance like that when you're doing, like, a complicated maneuver that close to the shore? Like, bruh.
Scatino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship,
I'm going to be
and
saying
he's
that a
very
whole
excited.
lot.
At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell, because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start. The second...
Okay, so already off to just an excellent start here. We have a guy who cannot speak either native language of the company that very well at all. Who is basically the first one responsible for the, like, directly, like, hands-on responsible for the ship traveling in certain directions at certain speeds. He's the one at the controls, so you want someone who you can communicate with to be... Oh my god. I had to take a minute. I just needed a second there to kind of collect my thoughts.
Command orders the helmsman
We're less than 5 minutes in.
Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on.
Mario Palombo is the reason for the sail by salute. He essentially came up with the idea. He is not on Giglio at the time. He's in Grosseto. Yeah, well, we have you to thank for whatever happens here, dude.
On the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before.
Please don't.
The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we...
Hold on. Why are you going to pick up speed? Like, whenever you're traveling faster in any vehicle, you're already harder to maneuver. But you're in a fucking boat. Like, a boat the size of that. Okay.
We talk about that. Let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315.
So the first officer intervenes and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem: complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that.
Oh, great.
330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn.
Oh, no.
Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a
How do you
direct
get that far
collision.
off course?
Oh, shit!
A rat! Oh, I'm the rat.
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away. 335.
God.
Not enough.
That
The captain
fucking-
shouts,
that
340.
fucking soundbite is just like
The captain yells,
my
350.
My sleeper
Now,
agent
remember how I
activation
said that
phrase.
accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
made this ship incapable
Absolutely.
of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working.
Oh,
You're turning,
yeah, that's
turning,
like
turning, and you're just
literally-
going straight.
literally
You
what
want
I
to go
was,
over
like,
here, but
trying
you're
to,
going to end up over
like,
here.
convey for a second there. Like, I experienced that myself. I drive a fairly old rear wheel Mustang, and it is like it is not easy to drive whenever you got anything other than perfect roads. Like, you try to turn like on slightly wet roads, you're not going to have the traction, and like your car will just start trying to make the turn, but your ass end is just going to just swing way further than it should, and you're not going to be able to make that turn.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327.
Yeah.
Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In
Oh,
these
God.
critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The
Teach
captain
this dude
snaps
numbers,
back, 350 starboard, or we end up on the rocks.
Teach him numbers.
The third officer goes to assist the helmsman.
Better yet, let somebody
Now,
who,
don't get confused by the orders
like,
from here. We're changing
understands the
over to
language
rudder
to
instructions.
drive the boat, please.
The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they
Yes,
clear these
I can
rocks,
just, like-
they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship,
Okay, so
which
there is some
centers the
hope
rudder.
here.
The bow is
is
now
hope.
less than 150
That
meters from
They
Skull
can
Rock.
avoid disaster.
Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst
no, what to
possible
do?
moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near-miss.
Simulations show that if this hadn't happened, the ship would have missed the rocks by up to 10 meters, or at least only flooded one compartment. Jesus, dude. I'm frustrated just thinking about this, man. Like, these sheer amount of degrees of failure that there were, how easily this whole situation could have been avoided if at least one person on that bridge was doing their job. But instead, nope, they all just fuck it up. They all screwed it up. And whoopsie doodle. Whoopsie doodle.
Into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit!" Collision.
That was an abrupt musical cut. I'm gonna guess they did something to get like fog muted or something. Flying spaghetti in olive oil. Even pasta down in the engine room. Pasta everywhere. Add time.
Downtown, Nordtown. It's day 56 of playing Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I gots to find him. It's breaking
Not
my
available
little
in your
heart.
country.
I'll see what I
That's-
can do.
it's
I have
heartbreaking.
contacts in thousands of servers in dozens of countries across the globe. And just like that, she was gone. The only thing she left was a calling card.
You are for a huge plan and
Sometimes
discount.
when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN can protect my online data.
like why
Who can
like,
protect me?
like
from
why
myself?
is his ads just like an
When they said this
art
job
house
gets easier,
film?
it was just another lie. Forensics found his password spread all the way down the block.
Oh,
In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story.
this is
I took the brakes off my
perfect
car.
world.
Man like
at
me never really learned how to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
I took the steering wheel out too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be. That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead. Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's a twist.
Go to nordvpn.com/internet historian for a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
Yeah, well, I mean, with everything going on right now in the UK, folks can definitely be using some VPNs right now. You know, before the United Kingdom tries to make them illegal or something. You know, trying to censor the whole internet because parents don't want to parent their kids and expect all the people who aren't the kids' parents to police the internet for them instead of just, you know, not raising your kid with an iPad in their hands. That's, you know, it's a piece of advice there.
Add over.
Add over.
The ship hits rocks on the port side.
That was
A
uncomfortable in my ears.
53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping
like
and
that.
bang is heard by all
that.
passengers. At the helm, there's panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his
9:45
act as he's
PM
helping
is when
his
they
assistant
hit.
into the box. Meanwhile,
That-
the
it was
lady
not even- when
inside
did they
Let me
is
out,
stop
let me
it?
out.
terrified. There's
They were
confusion
first
across
boarding
the
at like
ship.
7:30,
All
I
of the
think.
crew off shift come back on duty.
So it took,
All
like,
officers run
less
to the bridge.
than
Technical crews run down to the lower
2.5
decks to assess
hours to
damage.
just fuck
On
it
connection
up.
with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now
That's not good
adrift.
at all.
Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in.
I really hope they have a
So much
decent
so that
disaster.
within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines
I mean,
stop
they seem to
working
be
through flooding.
coordinated enough. to
22
get,
seconds
like,
later, a
response.
blackout happens.
Oh.
Lights, electrics, the water pumps too. Everything.
Oh, shit.
The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that, too, is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power,
not good.
is drifting starboard,
Not good
plunged
at all.
into absolute darkness.
Ugh.
A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments.
No, that's not good.
At first, compartment
already
5,
know
which
it's
filled
only
very rapidly.
good for
Then
2.
6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3.
Judging
Modern
from
ships are
those-
built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments
And then right there, they already have 5 flooded compartments. So this ship is just already fucked, isn't it? And judging from those little graphics that are showing underwater, that doesn't look good at all.
especially though, are a problem because they contain the engines and the electrics.
Bruh.
These main generators give power to the whole ship.
God, how unlucky do you have to be that the only compartments that flooded were the most important compartments of the entire ship? Like, you lost your engines, your electrical, you lost everything immediately. Holy shit, that is some of the worst luck I have ever seen.
From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage.
Oh, that is a
A
terrifying.
few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished.
He flipped open the latch as he vanished from the scene, allowing the lady to escape. Well, that's nice of him.
He's ditched the stage. And it caused a
Little
huge
dick
panic
move,
in the
but-
theatre. As passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to
Just
muster
dipping
stations,
out.
people already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors
put it from
close
inside
except for door 12, which is
Like,
jammed.
inside
The captain calls
bridge?
Pilon, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go
Why are you
down.
perplexed
Let's go
that there's
down
a lot
the
of
other
water
side.
coming in, dog? Like,
In a moment
why
we
are you
start the
asking,
pumps, I'll let you know.
a lot of water? Dude, you have
In
a
the
big ass
theatre,
hole
the
in your
whole
boat.
magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the bridge,
I hope it
an
didn't hit
announcement is
anybody.
being prepared. They are going to lie
Shit.
to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
Excuse me. Like, I get not wanting to start like a whole like stampede of people running for their lives because the ship is clearly unstable because it's already listing and it's flooding more compartments than a boat like that can handle. But you're just going to lie to the people on the ship. And it's the cruise director that makes the announcement for the director's assistant. Oh, I'm sure this won't just go horribly.
The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded.
Little yawn.
Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and we'll inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Oh.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation. The captain calls the Costa Crisis Unit. Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're
is
assessing damages,
awful.
and that they are
That is
also
awful.
in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine.
Yeah,
You
how
know, hoist
the-
the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway,
least they're
drifting
heading to
right
the
back
shore
towards
now.
the shore, which is a very good
That
thing
is-
because you want the ship
that's
to end
good.
up as
You don't want
close
it
to
be
shore as possible.
Underwater, like
A panicked passenger
disastrous,
senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise and now the ship is tilting.
Damn,
So,
everything is
she
fucking
contacts her daughter
sliding.
in
Holy
Italy. The
hell.
daughter then calls the police.
Another reason
and
why
the
I will
police
never set
call the
foot on a
harbour
boat.
master.
Like, holy
While that
shit.
goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain,
I just,
here
like,
everything is
stem
lost.
uncontrollably
The electrical
the
panel,
Metal Gear music.
everything.
I need
They're
to play
saying at this
Metal Gear
point
Delta,
that the ship
Metal Gear Solid
is
Delta
going
on stream
down.
sometime.
The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin.
The dude's just fucking lying. He says only 2 compartments have flooded and there's no danger of in the stability. Literally wrong on both things. The boat's literally rocking back and forth so much that plates and shit are sliding all over the floor. And you have engineers downstairs who confirm how many compartments you got flooded. Holy. Big dog, what the fuck are you doing?
Going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best."
Cat
The harbour
here is
master from
tweaking,
Livorno
holy
calls
hell.
the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you
asked passengers
to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I gotta go.
Even that right there was a lie. It was not just 20 minutes. It's been like, because they hit it what, like 9:30 or 9:45. So it's been at least like, well, actually no, wait. It's been almost 30 minutes. So even on little details like that, he is just bullshitting. Holy hell.
The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pelon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions, like, is it still flooded? Yes. Yes, it is.
Where would the water go, dude? Where would the water go? Do you think the water will just go back out into the ocean and not re-enter the ship like it's some kind of force field and the giant hole in your boat? Dude, this guy must be on something. Holy shit.
The captain is essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, the ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing. He qualifies with, no one dead or injured. The harbour master asks if he needs help.
Bullshit.
Just a tugboat? When in reality, they need a full rescue.
That's not gonna help.
With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad, and they are not going to improve.
Yeah, it only took him almost an hour.
The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the scene.
Meanwhile,
up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem. She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge. Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats.
Live feeds from the boat?
Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems. 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pelon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response,
so is
he orders the
everything on this ship just falling apart?
The captain says, no, stay.
Like, it seems like it.
We're leaving. So what do we do? General emergency?
Nobody can make a decision on this boat,
The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandoned ship. Another announcement.
They're finally abandoning ship. It's been almost an hour.
The Livorno Coast Guard
It's about
calls again.
time.
The captain
Jesus
declares
Christ.
distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pelon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going.
Oh, that's good.
The ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore.
Oh.
The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven
Ooh, that's not good.
And it begins
Oh,
heavily
fuck,
listing
that's
starboard.
not good at
the
all.
captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring
Dude,
out.
like-
And with that comes panic.
Dude, it's been almost an hour. What the fuck was that guy doing? They hit the rocks at like 10:15. It's already almost 11:15 at this point. So they've been mucking about for an hour now. Dude.
And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno Harbour
do you see all
Master that
those?
the ship has run aground and is
Did you
listing
see all those
heavily.
life jackets?
So
That's
the
a
harbour master
terrifying
asks the
sight.
captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor.
No.
So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively
How are you gonna
rendering
screw
them
it up
useless.
that bad? Jesus,
The deputy
dude.
mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni
I'm just
Rossi
flabbergasted.
arrive
Like,
at the
this
harbour.
guy had
They
a
watch the scene
job
unfold.
working
As
for
the first
this
of the lifeboats
cruise
arrive
liner,
on shore, the deputy
and
mayor
somehow
takes the
became a
initiative
captain.
and races to board one of the
So I
lifeboats,
have to sit here
returning
and
to the ship.
question:
and starts trying
What
to find someone.
the
to
hell
help.
happened?
He gives up and starts helping passengers.
Like, for real, dog.
Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not.
What was that? The maitre d' sees Pellegrini as he's abandoning the ship.
Scatino tells
So
everyone
the maitre
to
d' just dipped out of there without
leave
helping
and take
anybody.
radios.
A preparation order for abandoned ship so it can be done in an organized and orderly way.
But not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities.
Why?
Dimitri Christidis and Sylvia Koronica leave with
Why are you
him.
gonna
The
change
maitre d'
into
and
a
some more can both
suit?
get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are
I don't
still
like
on
that.
the ship. Millet
I don't
reaches
like
the
looking at
helicopter
that.
base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south.
Jesus, an
Bozier
hour?
is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The
Wow.
bridge is now abandoned. And then,
Oh, and
the
people
ship's
still
black
on
box
board
stops
counter.
working. Apparently they were
Called a VDR, a voyage data recorder. Yep. Pretty much all commercial vessels like this have something like that. Like a VDR, a CVR on planes, a cockpit voice recorder, and the like the black boxes, basically. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what he just called them, black boxes. Pretty much any commercial vessel, and even a lot of private vessels these days have these on there because they are the best things to have when you're investigating an accident.
technical problems with it.
Oh,
That
great!
means
It
from
fucking
here,
broke.
Things are going to get a little
Awesome.
foggy in detail.
That's just
A while
fantastic.
later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water.
Ugh,
Passengers
shit! I
are
don't like
scaling down
that.
the port side by ladder as
Dude.
lifeboats return to pick them up.
I could not be caught like seeing shit like this. I could not be caught dead on a cruise ship, like ever. Like, hell no. Oh,
Yes.
You're not allowed to make a film movie.
I'm allowed.
Who say you are?
A second
who
helicopter,
the
a
fuck are
faster
you
model,
to tell people they
sets off.
can't record
The
shit?
ship stops healing and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard
Well, at
calls
least it's
the
not
captain because
moving
he's just
around
learned
anymore.
That the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims,
Excuse me?
No, actually, I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats.
You fell on some
But
fucking
I
ravioli, dog?
I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the
Vada
captain kinda
abordo
acts confused
caso.
and
I'm
then
with you,
effectively
dude. I'm
refuses.
with you,
So
brother.
the captain makes it to shore.
Get the fuck
From
back
here,
on
we
board.
only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief
Well,
then
damn.
finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara, and among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there.
God, this
and in
fucking
fact, the police chief
scumbag,
claimed that
man.
he just sat on the rocks and watched other
This
people do the
piece of
rescue.
shit.
A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life.
Good. Rip him a new one. Rip him many new ones. He fucking deserves it. Like, seeing how he performed on that fucking vessel, like, I am genuinely perplexed at how bad of a job he did. Like, genuinely.
Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
Captain is
Excuse
usually
me?
the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
Siamo stati gli ultimi da
We were the last to leave the ship.
Mm. Mm. I don't like this guy. It's absolute fucking dickweed.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their
How do
cabin.
you sleep through a
The last
boat,
survivor,
like,
Manrico
flipping 90
Giampagnoni,
degrees?
was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin service director. In the end, 32 people died.
Hmm. I hope they throw the fucking book at this guy. Like, genuinely, I hope he gets everything. He deserves everything. Like, how do you fuck up this badly?
The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later, a crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic.
It's fucking awful.
And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Jesus, man, looking at just all of this. God, everything is just fucking destroyed. God damn, dude.
But this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point. What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward.
Yeah, fuck that
But
captain,
there's a whole
dog.
veritable
Fuck him.
spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in.
Dude.
There they are. The deets.
How the fuck are you just gonna, like, just fist a thing of spaghetti like that, dude? How the fuck are you gonna do that, man? That... I don't like looking at that. Oh.
Loot box time. The Costa
Doing
Concordia was more than just
they're
a
just
floating
doing the
resort.
loophole
There's more.
stream now,
A casino.
I guess.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings.
Oh
and
yeah,
there were plenty of gamers prepared
with all the
to
shit in
sneak
there.
by authorities
Like, there's got to be
and try
some
their
hidden
luck
treasures
in the hot zone.
hiding away in that hull.
Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship,
God damn, people did not waste any time
high-end liquor,
to
expensive
go in
furniture,
and just start snatching
dining
shit.
sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell.
Oh god, too mad jump scare.
Was never found. Who steals a big fuck off bell? Even the
Who
server
steals a
admins
big
were
ass
getting
bell?
involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship.
Bruh, how the fuck are you gonna do
patrol
that,
boat was
man?
dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged.
God, it reminds me of there's one game I used to watch online. I never played it myself because underwater games terrify me because I don't like deep water. But it's like, I can't remember the name of the game off the top of my head. I think it was like Depth or something. And it was like a 1v4 or like a 1v all player kind of game where one player, like, where all but one of the players plays as like divers going underwater into like shipwrecks and other like underwater places and like stealing shit or just like looting it and making money off of it to buy more equipment. in later rounds, and then one of the players plays as a shark, and they have to hunt the other players down. God, dude, that's just giving me that kind of vibes just thinking about this kind of thing.
With stealing and thieving and pinching.
200
Later
euro
on,
fine.
stolen as well as legitimate items
however many
found their way
months.
to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Dude just lists a whole boat. Your ass is not getting to Hogwarts, buddy.
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that.
Yes,
But
I would
first,
love to, please.
We have to talk about
Please.
someone else. Domnica Samorton.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Oh.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome.
You look like a
And
sweaty
how could you not?
sausage.
You so fucking precious.
Ugh.
Smile.
But
Sausage.
she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would
I
like
call
to
bullshit.
believe, they want to know I
call
have
bullshit.
something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Samorton also
Spicy.
loved the spotlight, however,
Everyone, oh look!
and took several interviews.
Oh yeah, that's
But as
just
the pressure mounted,
that just
upon
shows how
her,
innocent
she
you are,
began
huh?
making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have.
I
but
give you just 1
to
week
come
to tell the
clean.
truth.
But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Samorton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a
God.
helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to
Huh?
take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
Oh.
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia.
God.
And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been
Oh.
caught trafficking drugs. As an aside,
Shit.
Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia
You know, it totally tracks though that a guy like him has definitely done cocaine in the past. Like, no, and there's been no confirmation cocaine was found on the Concordia after the event. So he wasn't snorting the good old Peruvian nose powder. But, you know, he was definitely partaking from time to time. Okay. Okay, I see what you're putting down, dog.
Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh, right, a helicopter. Samorton commented on it again the next day.
Oh
and said,
god, that
"Actually,
poor
helicopter
poor
was
lady
just
in that
for the captain as a means of
fucking rescue
evacuation from the
canopy.
ship."
Wait, what would that say? But they didn't even evacuate via helicopter. The captain also wouldn't be the first person off the ship. Imagine if Scatino just flew away on a helicopter before any of the rescue crews even arrived. Does he expect some sort of first class rescue service? I think this confusion is caused by low IQ.
Just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship?
God, imagine
wait, how
that.
did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain.
Oh, yeah.
Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Samorton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag.
Ooh.
The jig was up, but
Yes,
they
it is.
continued denying it. Samorton
Dog, how
mostly
you gonna
faded
deny
from
it? They
international
found your
attention
undies
until she was told
in
to
his
appear before the
room,
court to
dude.
present witness testimony.
They found your
The judge
fancy
pressed her
undies
to
in
be
his
truthful
room.
about
The
their
jig is up,
relationship,
dog.
Or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Troubler Nation? Satino cheated on his wife with Seymour Tan. Oh
Dog.
my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And
Oh,
didn't
of course.
need to pay
Like,
because
you know, of
nobody
course, she
questions
didn't have
you
to
when
pay
you're
to get
the
onto the
captain's
ship
lover.
because, you know, she's busy screwing the
Naturally,
captain.
she gave another
So she's
confusing
not going to
interview
make it
after
onto the
leaving
ship,
court.
like,
I
have
want
to pay
say
for a
that
ticket.
Today is the second time I die because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent
That's
to the
just-
trial, she used her
that's
fame
just
in Moldova
flabbergasting.
to become a political activist,
what did the-
often appearing on television and radio and in articles
What did
covering
you mean-
protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
My brain just blue screened for a second there. She's complaining that there aren't enough bins in the area. The police are telling her to calm down and point out that there are bins right there. The crowd standing around is telling police she's allowed to protest here and are generally white knighting. Like, now,
It was some stuff
Like,
about
now you're
victim
just creating
violence,
even
women's
more of a
rights,
mess, dog.
Yada yada yada. And interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
program, C. Morton has also launched a campaign against the sale to Vladimir Putin of shares of the company that manages Moldova's railway infrastructure, arguing that with privatization she would transform the nation into a hostage of Russia.
Russia.
Sure.
Other than that,
I
I,
mean,
don't
that's
really know.
kinda
what she's been up
valid.
to. Let me just check on
Oh no!
Oh God, not again.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh. Oh God! I hope.
Several
like,
civil suits
I hope
were
they got.
quickly lodged against Costa Crociere.
I hope
and their
Costa
parent
got.
company,
Oh
Carnival
God!
Cruises,
Of course, they're Carnival
immediately saw a
Cruises.
share drop of
I've only ever heard
23%.
bad things about Carnival Cruises. Of course, Costa.
Passengers
like,
sought compensation for
of
their
course,
damaged mental health, lost
they're
belongings,
owned by
and
fucking
loved
Carnival,
ones.
man.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route, but
God.
that wasn't true. Approval isn't required.
Say what
if
you
the
want.
ship is
I'm
deviating by less than
Adam
15
Sandler's
miles,
my
or that
guilty
it was
pleasure.
against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs
Dude,
they accrued
that's-
in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that
Yeah,
was
that's-
supposed to
that-
release them from everything and anything
That doesn't sound.
has to
That's
do with this accident.
like, imagine you spend all of this money on all your luggage, travel, expenses, all of this stuff for this cruise. And you could imagine it can get up there like $20,000-$30,000. Like, that's almost as much as I make. That's almost as much as I make in a year. Like I make a little under double that in a year. So I'd be like more than half of my year's salary on one big thing, and they're only wanting to give you like a pittance of that cheese. How can this get worse?
I cannot ask for more than this.
Let's
A lot
see
of
how it gets
passengers,
worse.
Understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer
Good on
is an
them.
insult for what these poor passengers went through.
Absolutely.
We think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate. Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later,
It's not commensurate.
Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members.
Okay, so that's how it gets worse.
Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that
Costa
the company
is
has
just
been able to
getting
avoid criminal responsibility.
away with it, basically.
Civil suits against the company continue.
The company is just basically getting away from it now.
Giglio also banded together and sought
fucking
damages.
bullshit.
They didn't get much.
That company should have definitely faced
Eventually,
stiff
passengers
prosecution
who
for this
refused the
whole
initial
situation,
compensation
on
of
top of the
$11,000
captain and
joined
crew.
civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other
Good.
cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Hope so. I hope they got a lot for that. Like, losing a relative because of that? Ugh. That just hurt to look at.
New York attorney Peter Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee & Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to
Bonk.
give you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana.
So Mr. Renai agreed
Casually just
However,
researching
there were
cases
some
while you're
inconsistencies in
watching
her story. Neither
some
Eva
Asmin
nor
WoW.
Roxana were on the passenger list.
Oh, that's suspicious.
But Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch.
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona
Yeah,
said,
that's
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll
Oh,
know
that
the
is that's a
details.
I'm up all night.
stock
I'm
photo
going
if I've
crazy,
ever
she
seen
said.
one.
But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang.
I don't like that.
Ahoy, hoy. It was the boyfriend again. Look,
This
there's
sounds
been a bit of a
scummy immediately.
misunderstanding, and the child isn't missing at all.
Oh.
And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay. Can I
Dude was
speak
too
to the
coked
dawg?
out of his mind.
At first, he
to
was
just
refused.
answer
So Renai
like
said
a
that he'd
question.
have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night,
Yeah, he
Renai
already
met
looks like
with
he's
her
tweaking.
and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings.
The swings are fun.
The jig was up.
They're definitely
So
fun.
the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest.
You should get money for
Although
that.
don't worry about checking my leg because there are
The
no
leg
visible
didn't
marks
have
or
any
wrinkles.
marks.
Oh, Petey, I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat.
I'm right there with
Also,
you,
turns out
Petey.
this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
God, imagine getting like away with something like that just because your country never thought to put like laws against fraud on the books like that. Vada a bordo, Mazzo.
Claudio, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course. Means get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to
A naval officer of the Corps for the Port Authority head of operations section of Livorno, De Falco was responsible for overseeing the safeguarding of waters around Livorno. Frigate captain is the official Italian rank. In Anglo-Saxon countries, the equivalent rank is usually commander, equivalent to lieutenant colonel in the army. Okay, wow, yeah, so he's pretty up there as far as ranks go.
Caso became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Scatino to go down with the ship. And when the captain chickened out, DeFalco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast.
That captain went pure pussy mode. I will cause a boatload of trouble.
Just a blackout.
Oh, god damn it.
And immediately began preparing a rescue effort,
Yeah.
which likely saved
DeFalco is, like,
His
needs to
actions
be,
were
like,
applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public
like,
servants being
yeah.
corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly,
God damn.
shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by
Like,
the end of
he
the week.
needs every good
Others
thing to happen
setting
to
it as
him,
their
dude.
friend's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without
Oh.
warning, DeFalco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? You've been
Dude.
DeFalco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career.
Oh, that is
DeFalco
horseshit.
was tres furioso, and there was
Very
public
furious.
speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways.
Delano was promoted and sent to Rome after the Concordia disaster.
On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone.
He
And
seems
anyway,
like a
in
dickhead, though, that's for
2018,
damn sure.
DeFalco said buenas noches, you later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno.
Well, that's
he still
good.
serves there today.
Nice. I'm glad he had a good ending at that. Oh, God. I've done that before. I've actually done that before. It's not fun. Not fun in the slightest. Oh, jail time.
The day after the disaster, Scatino was taken into custody by police and
Good.
underwent questioning.
Good.
However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area.
So he just gets to wander
While
around.
under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
Dude.
Oh,
God, dog, your fucking wife.
With abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well.
God, who would be attracted to this
Scatino
fucking
and 5
hot
others
dog
are facing
skin looking
criminal
motherfucker?
charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted.
Did they just not have a
for
picture
Scatino's. And the
of
condition of everyone's
the
reduced
helmsman?
sentences are that
Just
they must
using that
provide
me
witness
picture?
testimony against Scatino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal. A good deal.
You know, for them, not for the
And that meant
victims.
that Scatino was now all on his own. Ciro,
Scatino
the
needs
first
to have the
officer,
book thrown
was
at
the
him,
first to
honestly.
give his testimony.
Like, just put
On
him
the
under the
witness stand,
jail.
He claimed that Scatino was distracted by his mistress.
Oh,
and
yeah,
other guests
definitely.
on the bridge.
He was definitely distracted.
That there was confusion over who was in command.
VDR suggests
was
this
Jacob's
isn't true.
And he
Oh,
said
he just lied.
Lamau XD because he
Oh.
didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts
Oh.
of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want
just-
that witness testimony," he just scalped it again.
It's fucking
and
right.
he hasn't been found since. After that, Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to reload
Dude.
the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty!
How did they lose this guy twice?
Scatino was found guilty of
Like, for
multiple
real?
manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities.
Good.
He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison.
He should have gotten at least like 20 to 25,
But wait,
honestly.
there's still the appeals.
Like, for
the appeals trial
32
begins.
people died
And
because
the
of him.
verdict on
He
the
needed to get
appeal?
more than that.
Surprise! Rejected.
Good.
So Scatino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Scatino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal, but was denied by the prosecution each time. The
Good.
prosecution called for
Good.
Scatino to
Good
be
deal.
sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a
Prosecution called for 26 years, but Scatino only got 16. He should have gotten all that 26.
Okay, I see what you did there.
He should have gotten all those
His lawyer
years.
stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
I hope he's still in jail right now. I hope so. Oh! Oh.
The salvage
Linus fucking
was
tech
enormous.
tips.
It took over 2 years
Oh,
and cost an
God.
estimated $1.2 billion.
That fucked
Beginning
me
in
up.
early 2012,
That fucked me
they
up.
first spent
My-
2 months
my
pumping
gut
fuel
hurts
from the
now.
ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump
Pump
seawater
fuel,
in
pump
so that
water
the balance
in to
wasn't affected
replace.
and the ship didn't slide around.
Yeah.
In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship, and cables attached to the underwater platform.
God, this
The
is like a
sponsons were then
whole
dragged
like,
underwater
complicated
and opened up
process. I
to
can't
allow
even
the ocean
imagine how
development.
difficult it
The
must have
ship
been to
could then
coordinate
roll
this
over
whole
properly.
situation.
By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons
they
were then
finally got
attached
it.
to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested
Jeez.
partially above water, and crews could walk
Just
around
looking at how
safely.
fucked up
By
the
July
ship looks.
2014,
God damn,
the water
dude.
was removed from the sponsons, and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey
Tow that
to the
thing
docks
to the
where a
trash
2-year
yard,
process of
dismantle.
dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Scatino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the
God
front
damn.
page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most
While under
eligible
her
bachelorettes.
house arrest before he went to prison. Okay, thanks for the clarification. I was about to say, if he got out of prison early, I was going to have a conniption.
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia.
God damn.
That's
The Costa Concordia
maiden
is
of
an
the
absolute
sea.
disaster. Jesus.
And
Like,
as for you, little fella,
an absolute failure in all degrees of, like, people in charge.
well, it's time to return.
That just derailed my train of thought. Jesus.
From whence you came.
More fucking Titanic references. Flashed.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2.
Especially if
there's
you're
a
in the
new video on
UK.
the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy. 3. If you've never seen the second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4. There are a couple of secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5. No more 45-minute videos on the main channel. Back to 10 to 15 minutes and more of them. 6. There's a Q&A
I've
coming
seen
out
the
next week on
videos.
Incognito
I
mode.
think that's
There's
horseshit.
a ton of detail that we had to cut for the sake of brevity, and will no doubt feature a ton of corrections as well. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. That was an absolute disaster. I'm hopeful. I really hope that after seeing what happened to the Concordia, I really hope that it's not like a same level of absolute like devastation and disaster that went on the Ever Given now, because that like made me sad. It made me angry. Jesus, dude. Like the absolute levels of mismanagement going on in that entire on that entire crew. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. If you hit that like button, comment down below what you thought about that absolute disaster of a captain and his god-awful crew that couldn't coordinate worth a hell. Right down below. Talk about that. And I will see y'all next time in the HQ.